Ain't it funny how they think they can stop me? Try to be me, but I'm so sorry you not me. They tell me they like it when I get cocky. You cannot stop me.
You are now tuned into the Dads Who Live podcast. You have your host, Tyler Gata.
Co-host Jonathan Baumgartner.
Man, it feels good to be back here.
Been a minute.
Yeah, so we shot like 5 or 6 in a row.
Yep.
I think in 2 different takes, but like 5 or 6 in a row a while back because Laurel, left and moved out of state, which was my media lady that did an amazing job. Never, always had everything on point. We knew it would take a little bit of time to find somebody else and get things rolling, so we shot like 5 or 6 in a row. And let me tell you, man, it fucking sucks when I'm not in here every week shooting a podcast. Truth. Like I love to be in here once a week shooting a podcast. Like it's my, it keeps me self motivated. It keeps like my mentality up. It's like a therapy session. It feels fucking good. So even though we've been putting out content every single week, still, like I haven't actually personally been in here every week and shooting them. And goddamn, it just feels good to be back.
100%. I was just talking to Steven, one of our guys, kind of about how being around or keeping that mental state of even shooting the podcast and talking about these things consistently week after week helps me more than
self-accountable.
Yeah, I think it helps me more than it helps. I hope it helps everybody or it's reaching people. But primarily, I love doing this and I want to continue helping you do this because it helps me tremendously. And I'm with you. And I'm glad you said it this morning. Like a piece of my week had been missing every single week. Probably, not really pay attention to it, but this, I guarantee, is going to change. Getting consistent with this again and having these conversations and having our minds growing and active and actually living this intentionally every day, not just talking about it, but actually this is my lifestyle, like being this way, thinking this way, having these conversations is a lifestyle. And that's what I was telling Steve, like, this is a lifestyle. It's tiring, but once you commit to this lifestyle, once you go away from it, you start to notice what we just noticed. Like, man, I'm off course. I'm off kilter. I'm not.
Something's off.
Something's off. I'm not as sharp. Right. I'm not as powerful. Or like something is not lining up, keeping me at that. You
know what it really is. So it's when you feel that way. It's that you're not as in tune with your true inner self. So when that's a lot of what this podcast does for me. When I can shoot this every single week, it keeps me in tune to who I truly am inside myself, my true self. And when you're not in tune with your true self, you're gonna feel like something's off. Even if it's just like, hey, something's a little off kilter. I can't really place it. I don't know what's going on. But 9 times out of 10, that's what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
So I love it. I'm glad to be back. Let's do the housekeeping shit. Oh shit, it's been a minute. I kind of forgot it all. Let's do the housekeeping stuff. We need your guys' help to spread this podcast. We do not ask for anything monetary. We don't have a fee. We don't have a subscription. I don't run a ton of fucking ads that bore you every 15 minutes. All that we ask is that you share the show. If you got value out of this, pay the fee. The fee is you tell a friend, they tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing organically. Share it on IG, share it on YouTube, share it on Spotify. Whatever the fuck it is, we're on all the platforms. Just share the show. If we helped you, if we added value to your life, share the show. If not, don't share it. That's cool too. It's an add value system. But there's thousands of downloads on this show every single week. And it's growing, but it's not growing at the rate that it should for as many downloads as we're getting. So that tells me that you guys are not doing your part. And your part is to share the motherfucking show. I'm here doing my part. This shit is it's actually cost me money to do, so it's free to you, but it costs me money to do, but I'm doing it because it's my fucking passion. I like to help people. So just share the show. It helps me too. Share the show, and we'll keep this bitch growing and keep adding value to everybody that we can. We have badass apparel, dope hats, dope shirts, tanks, sweatshirts. We got this #1 dad t-shirt that just dropped. That's coming out. That's coming out for Father's Day, so check that out. All of our shit's on our website, www.dadswholiftapparel.com. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Apparel. We're on Facebook as Dads Who Lift Apparel. And we also have a Facebook group called Dads Who Lift Official. Again, that's a group on Facebook. around 55,000, 56,000 like-minded dads trying to be the best selves to stay fit. So if that's something that interests you, check that group out. Again, it's a group on Facebook called Dads Who Lift Official. I talked about my coaching a lot, doing another masterclass, and I've kind of put that on the back burner. And I apologize to you guys for that. There's just been a lot of shit going on in the companies and within the podcast and within Shopify and trying to get our ads right. And there's just been a lot of internal energy of mine that's been going other places. And I made the choice to cut back or reschedule the masterclass, because if I'm going to do something like this, I want to be able to give you guys my 100%.
Right.
I don't want to do something and not be able to give you my 100%. I have too much of my energy going in other places right now. Unfortunately, I'd like to do it sooner, but I'm going to push it back to like August. So I'll probably start pumping that here again in a few weeks. We have just a lot of shit going on in July. A lot. I mean, we have 4th of July, we have holidays, we have family events, functions, we have business things. It's just a lot. We ended up going through, Laurel left us, which did an amazing job. She's moved out of state. Then I hired another guy. He didn't work out. And then now we have Mason, which is back behind the camera right now, which has been killing it thus far. So it's taken us a little bit to kind of get back into rhythm, back into the speed of things, back into the step. But we should be full flowing now. Once I can get some of these loose ends sewed up, then I'll schedule another masterclass. Like I said, hopefully sometime in August, maybe towards the end of August. So stay tuned for that. What we were talking about pre-show, pre-camera here, John and I were, there's a couple things. There's something that's on my heart that I feel like I really need to get into. And we've shot podcasts on this topic before. And not necessarily in this exact light, but I don't want to be redundant. There's been, we've talked about mindset multiple times. We've talked about thoughts and thoughts controlling things multiple times. But I think it's important, and it's on my heart to say that the more and more I get in tune with myself, and more so than that, the more and more I get in tune with me being a creator that creates my entire reality, because that's what I am, and that's what you are too. You are a creator that creates your entire reality. Either you're creating your reality or the world's creating it for you. So you choose. Like either you're going to create your life to be what you want it to be, or the world's going to push you around to make it whatever they want it to be, or whatever it wants it to be. And so that's something that you can choose. But as a creator, what I'm realizing is that my fucking inner dialogue and my thoughts control so much in my reality. Mm-hmm. Like they control everything in my reality. As much as like controlling my perception, which then will control perception and thoughts are kind of tied together, right? So they control my thoughts, control my perception, which then controls my actions, right? Which is what the action is what comes into fruition, like monetarily and materially in the world, right? And so if I were to tell you, hey, anything that you put into your ears, eyes, or mind is going to shape your future. Anything. Yep. Would you be a lot more cognizant of what the fuck you put into your ears, eyes, and mind?
I would be.
Yeah, 100%. And so this is what I was thinking about this morning. This is what I'm getting to in my reality of myself as a creator, and how important this stuff truly is. Like, I'm to the point where I really am not really, like, I don't even really listen to music much anymore. Because, like, there'll be a song that I like, and I love the beat, and I love rap, I love hip hop, but like some of the lyrics will be like things that I don't want, things that I don't agree with. And I'll find myself listening to this song and catch these lyrics that I don't like negative lyrics or negative this or that. And then I think those things about me and my own life, right? And this is a prime example of how every single thing that we put into our ears, eyes, and minds, into our soul, mind, body, and soul, will shape our thoughts, which then shape our perceptions and shape our realities. So if my perception can just be of straight abundance 24/7, and all I see is the good side of everything, right? What's going to come into my life?
Only thing that can.
Abundance. Because that's all I'm going to see, right? That's all I'm focusing on. What you focus on is what materializes in your life. if I'm focusing on lack, or listening to music that entails lack, or listening to news that entails lack,
Right.
or listening to a podcast that entails lack, or watching shitty shows that entail lack, or even as much as like playing video games where I'm killing people, right? That is something that is as stupid as a fucking video game, right? My son plays them. I played them when I was a kid. But something as dumb as that is wiring into my brain things that I don't want in my fucking life.
Right.
And so I'm really getting to this point of like, if it doesn't align with what I truly believe in or make me better and align with what I want for my future, like I'm cutting it out completely.
Have to.
And so I still listen to music, but I was thinking about this morning. Like anytime I drive, I'm either listening to like motivational self-talk on YouTube, like, you know, money affirmations. I love every morning when I wake up, I love listening to money affirmations. And I just started this because I'm growing a lot fiscally and I guess the better term would be wealth right now. I'm growing a lot of wealth. And I was talking to a buddy about this. And I've made posts about it too, but there's a difference in being rich and being wealthy, right? And to me, this is my take. To me, rich and what most people equate rich to is money in the bank account, right?
Mm-hmm.
Money in the bank account doesn't create wealth. Like it just sits in the bank account, unless you have like a fuckload of it in the bank account. I guess you
The high interest account or something.
But money in your regular savings or checking account is not accruing much interest or making you much wealth, and it's definitely not making you much passive income, right? And so to me, the difference is like I can have $300,000 sitting in my bank account, and I can feel rich, you know,
Right.
and I judge myself off that. I'm padded, I feel good, I'm cushy, right? Or I can invest this money into, like, say, properties, Airbnbs, which is what I'm doing right now. Every time I buy this property or this Airbnb, I've now put that money into something that creates wealth. I own that thing. That thing's going to appreciate and make more money down the road. Plus, it's an Airbnb, so it creates passive income for me. So once I get that thing paid off in, say, 10 years, then all of the monthly rental income, say it's $100,000 a year, all goes straight into my pocket, right? I can live off that the rest of my life, right? So to me, that's creating wealth. And so I'm in this point now to where, you know, I did the whole rich thing for a while. That was fun, you know, and now I've grown into my phase over the last few years of creating wealth. And now that I'm creating wealth, my bank accounts are tighter, right? And it's a good thing, right? Like,
Structure.
Like down the road, I'm still creating wealth. I'm going to be worth more money. Like every time I buy another property, my net worth goes up.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it feels tighter because I have less money in the bank. I don't have that
Liquid.
that huge cushion that I used to have. Like I still have enough money to pay my bills and like we're not broke, but it's a point of like, hey, I've got all this extra cash usually sitting in the bank account that I judge myself on of like, oh, you're doing great.
Right.
Because you got all this extra shit. And then once you put that into something and reinvest it, then you feel tighter, right? Which is uncomfortable. And so with this feeling, I've never worried about money. Well, I'm not going to say that. I've been in business 13 years. The first probably 5 years of business, I worried about money, worried about losing accounts, worried about paying bills, worried about a lot of that shit. After that, and once I got through some really hard hardships that I still didn't fail out, that should have bankrupted me and taken me out, and I overcame them. I got to a point through that struggle to where I got a good relationship with money. And a good relationship with money is where you feel like you don't worry about money. You feel like money comes to you. You know, whatever you spend is going to be replenished. Money comes in expected and unexpected ways. So it wasn't until I got to this place again of being very fucking uncomfortable with my money because I'm growing this wealth, to where I started noticing these thoughts that I haven't had in years come back into my mind of these lack thoughts, these thoughts of like, oh fuck, you know, you don't have as much money in your account as you used to. You know, you're failing, you're losing, you could be doing more. How come your bank account doesn't have $500,000 in it? You know, whatever it is. I'm just throwing numbers out there. But I started getting these fucking thoughts of lack again that I haven't had in forever. And I know that I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm hustling. I know I'm growing. So I know that it just comes down to my thoughts and my perception. Mm-hmm. So what I started doing to combat this, I caught it right away. I said, nuh-uh, fuck you. Because, dude, honestly, truly, if you have a lack mentality and your thoughts are lack, you will have lack in your life. Like the majority of what you bring into your life will be lack. If you have thoughts of abundance, the majority of what you bring into your life will be abundance. And I challenge you guys listening, like if you're laughing at me saying, oh, this is just some foo-foo funny bullshit, I believe this shit like I believe in gravity. You know, you can't see gravity, but you know that if you jump off the fucking building, you're going to fall to your fucking death, right? This is the same fucking thing. Watch your thoughts, cognizantly watch your thoughts. I'm talking every second of every fucking day. And watch your thoughts and see if are they abundant or are they lack? Are they thoughts of abundance or thoughts of lack? And change your thoughts, even for a day or two. Change your thoughts. Every time you have a thought of lack, combat it with the opposite abundant thought. So anytime you get a thought of like, oh, I'm broke, or I don't have enough money, or I'm failing, combat that shit with the thought of abundance. No, money comes to me. I have plenty of money. I'm creating wealth. Money comes to me. And do that shit for a day or two. Do it for a week if you can. I guarantee you're going to see more abundance and more opportunities come into your life and come into fruition. So I just want to say that I truly feel like it's on my heart because so every fucking morning what I started doing is every morning I started listening to these money affirmations where it's just like, I am rich, I am wealthy, I deserve to be rich, I deserve to be wealthy, money comes to me comes to me in unexpected ways, money comes to me in expected ways. And I just listen to this shit over and over, and it truly, what that stuff does, it's actually, there's a name for it, but what it actually does, and Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about it too, but it rewires your brain, right. So it rewires your unconscious brain. So, you know, people say like, oh, I can't control my thoughts. That's actually not true. The truth of it is I can't control my thoughts right now if they're set into a habit, right? Correct. But how you can control your thoughts is by rewiring your brain, by changing your thoughts for a period. So I started listening to these affirmations every single morning, and then it really got me thinking into like, you know, I love fucking rap music. I love the beats. I love all that shit. And so it's like, but I truly believe and I truly think like the more I get into this and the more I realize that I create my own reality and I'm 100% responsible for anything that happens in my life, that everything that I put into my ears, eyes matter. Like even down to like, what fucking shows am I watching? What am I watching on Netflix? 100%. Right? And that all is going to subconsciously wire my brain. Right? And I swear to you, it fucking does it. Like when television first came out, it was created by the government, and it was actually a brainwashing technology, right? That's why like nobody trusts the media right now, because why is the media giving false information? Because they're trying to brainwash you, right? It will brainwash you. It rewires your subconscious. So anything you listen to, anything you watch, anything you read, people that you have around you, people that you have in your circle, people that influence your thoughts or things or what you feel like is the norm, right? So. Right. Something might not be okay for you, but if all 5 of your friends think it's okay, then through time you're like, oh fuck, well, Betty, John, Josh, James thinks it's all right. Like, must be okay, right? So really, what we put into our selves truly fucking matters, and I just felt it on my heart. I wanted to speak it out. I wanted to talk about it. I don't want to be redundant, but I just really felt like it needed to be said. And I was thinking this morning too, when I was actually listening to my affirmations on my walk after I meditated. I meditate every morning. I manifest every morning. And I try to get my morning cardio in every morning. And I was listening to my affirmations while doing this cardio. And I was like, but I still love trap music, right? So like, when am I going to listen to my trap music, right? And what came into my mind is like, that's a perfect time. And maybe people don't want to do this. Maybe it's different for them. But for me, that's a perfect time when I'm at the gym, right? Because when I'm at the gym, I'm just doing tasks that I do every single, like I have a certain gym routine that I repeat every fucking week. Like, right. It's on a schedule. It's like, I don't even have to think about it. I just do it, you know? So that's a time for me. That's my stress reliever, that I can leave shit out on the table. But it's also a time for me where I don't really have to think very deep thoughts. You know, right, I can just go move my fucking weight. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm lifting. I add shit on the bar. I high five a buddy. I grab a spotter. You know, I try to push more weight than I did last week, but for me, that's a time where I don't have to sit there and think deeply, where almost all of my other parts of my day, I'm either solving problems or, you know, bidding things or talking to people or coming up with solutions, things that actually take a lot of brain energy, right? Right. And so for me, what I think I'm going to start doing is just Every time I work out, I'll listen to my fucking trap music. I'll get my pump on. And then once I leave the gym, it's back to fucking reality, back to business, you know? But all that I'm saying is like, I know it cannot be 100% just like, oh, you know, listening to fucking motivational podcasts or, you know, audiobooks or whatever. Like, even when I'm on a long road trip, I drive all the time. I go on road trips all the time, so I have Airbnbs all across the United States. And when I'm on a long road trip, I'll usually start my road trip out with like an audiobook, right? And I'll last, you know, maybe 2 to 3 hours on the audiobook. Then I'll switch to a podcast, kind of change it up. Then I'll last an hour or two on the podcast, and then I'm tired, right? My brain is tired, right? I've absorbed a lot of good knowledge, a lot of good things to push me forward. So then I usually will throw on some fucking country or some trap music or something like that, and just check out for a little bit, and that's okay. Yeah. But all that I'm saying is that be cognizant of it, right? So like, I think the coolest part is like anything. I truly believe like anything's all right in moderation, except for maybe like meth. But most things are right in moderation. But the biggest thing for anything is just being cognizant of it, is just noticing it. Right. If you can notice it, then you can control it, right? If you don't know it, then it runs rampant in your life.
Man, what a good topic. I'm glad it was on your heart and that you shared it. This is another win, like not necessarily a win because you had it on your heart, but there was no precursor. You don't have any notes. You just kind of talked about it this morning. So these are all things that when we're speaking right now, it's just coming from our experiences or what we've learned or what we, you know, tried to do and actually implement in our own lives. And you said it a couple times, and I just want to change the perspective on it's not. I don't feel it's ever redundant to come back to something that you feel so passionately about. And it's crazy that this was on your heart because I've actually been mentoring somebody, and the biggest challenge I've had is how do I explain this way of thinking to someone who's still stuck behind the monkey mind? How do I explain to someone that everything you think produces your reality? Everything. It doesn't. I mean, I'm going through every single thing. And so what I did was I said, hey man, listen to this audio.
Real quick, what I like to picture it as for people that can't understand it is a fucking spider web, dude. Right? So you're in the center of the spider web, right? And there's all these millions of different webs. Those are your thoughts. Right. But whatever webs you put out or choose yourself to believe or let your mind believe or perceive, and whatever you positively charge with energy, that's the biggest thing. Whatever thought you positively charge with energy, right, which means whatever thought you agree with, correct, is going to take you down that fucking spider web to this area of your life. Yep.
Great visualization of that. 'Cause yeah, basically that's what it is. So there's lots of books we talked about before. Agreements, Think Like a Monk, As a Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich. These are all books that as I've gone through them 6 or 7 times now each, there's a lot of similarities in what they're teaching. It's just a different perspective. Mm-hmm. Jay Shetty has a perspective on how his mind works as like thinking like a monk. Mm-hmm. The 4 Agreements, Ruiz, his perception or how he perceives, you know, being clouded in smoke and mirrors when we make these agreements. These are all, what I'm finding is there's universally it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's just 5 different people have a different way of expressing the universal truth that's there. And so when we keep talking about it, I think it's great because someone else might hear this podcast from a different perspective, and it might finally click for them. So it's a good that I think that we keep bringing up these things because I'm seeing them all over in every other book that I read that's related to like how your mind works, and they all say the same thing. Something as little as the music you listen to.
I don't want to blow fucking puffy ass smoke at people's asses, right? Like I want to talk about shit that will truly impact your life
and change your life.
And that's what I'm trying to do.
And so the guy that I'm mentoring, you know, I said, hey, read this book. And after you read it, we actually need to talk about this book and read it again and then talk about it and then read it again and then talk about it because every time you read it, you're going to catch something differently. And you have to do this over and over again because you said it. You got to create this new program in your brain, this new way of thinking that says, hey, I had this old thought and I'm getting better at catching myself thinking before I verbally agree with it and speak it out loud. I'm good at like, oh man, that was a bad thought. Dang it. I didn't speak it, but I still thought it. And what you're saying, being conscious of, hey man, that was not the right thought. It's not going to be conducive to what my goal is in the future. Even all these little agreements of negative thoughts or take away thoughts from what you're trying to produce will not accumulate and get you to the result that you want. And for me, one of the books that I just finished was, Think and Grow Rich. And rich is not just monetary. We talk about this, fiscally, it's so easy to relate that to because everyone ties money to it. But being rich in the sense of happiness, being rich in the sense of relationships, being rich in the sense of monetary, being rich in the sense of being powerful as a human being that I can impact you. If you come into my presence, I'm so powerful that I can positively impact you and change your trajectory. That's what I want to be rich in. And the
Dude,
way that
every
you
single
get there,
one of these rich dialogues I listen to, every single one, there's a few of them that I listen to, every single one mentions, I'm rich so that I have money so that I can help people with my money. Like every single fucking one. Money comes to me so that I can do good things with it.
Right. So as we're going through, and it's a warfare, and in David Ruiz's book, they talk about the Toltecs, and they came up with the word warrior is because they would mentally go to war with themselves. You're not in battle with me. I'm not in battle with with anybody. I'm against myself every single day. I'm against my mind every single day. If you can't win there, you can't win outside of that. If you can't win upstairs in your thinking process, you'll never ever win in the reality, the physical reality. And so when we talk about these books, and the big thing for me and the guy was, hey, let's not read the book. And now you're actionably doing. That's the magic ingredient. That's how it's actionable. It's, hey, did you catch yourself thinking that? And did you have a conversation? Hey, man, I know that was not the right thought. Next time I'm going to do better. And the more that you practice that attention to detail and being intentional with your thoughts, not just your actions now, but being intentional before your actions, but with your thoughts. Because you can act a certain way, but if your intentions behind it don't align with it, you're not going to get what that action is going to bring to you. Because your intentions and your mind, and Bruce Lee, I had a picture, let me pull it up real quick. He said it something beautifully the other day on a picture that I saw, but Bruce Lee, don't speak negatively, and I think it goes even further. Don't think negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body does not know the difference. Words are energy, and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak and the way you think about yourself, and you can change your life. What you're not choosing, or what you're not changing,
is what you're choosing.
Is what you're choosing. So continually living in, and in Ruiz's books, keep going back to because I just listened to it like 3 times, but we live in a constant state of hell in our own mind because from the time we're born, society puts all these pressures on us, we got to live up to this image, and we got to fit this mold, and we got to be this person, and I got to judge my bank account off of this number, and I got to judge my relationship status off of this. So the world is full of negativity is what I'm finding out. Everything outside of the world is pretty much negativity. The only positivity comes from within us. Mm-hmm. As human beings, we create that positivity, and my mission as a human being now is to, there was a time, I don't know, I'm probably not in the same plane where I was maybe a year ago, but there was a time where it was nirvana. There's nothing that nobody could say to me, do to me. If you came around me, you got a high off of my presence because I connected to that inner spirit and I produced nothing but positivity. And it was evident. I had so many people say, man, you're just a joy to be around. You walk in a room, you light up the room. Hey, man, thank you. That's the state that I want to be in 24/7. That's who I am. And that's my mission to go, and to share a piece of advice. Hey, man, if you could be this person, your life will change forever. Yeah. You're going to impact people. You're going to make people's lives better. And by doing that, just by doing that action, your life becomes better in the process because everything in your mind, everything that you're thinking is only producing positivity. And light always cancels out darkness. And it's universally, light will always cancel out darkness. So I'm glad, man, that this was on your heart because I've been studying these books. I've been connecting the dots, and Dispenza says that you start noticing the synchronicities of these things. And we're in that state where, man, we live it, we breathe it. And I had to take a weekend to go date my girlfriend because I love this. I breathe this, I sleep this, I listen. I'm like you, I stopped listening to music probably 3 years ago. I cut it in where, hey, man, I'm in a bad mood. I need some music to get me good and jive in. And I use it as a tool. Yeah, as a tool. But I don't, and even if I'm listening to a certain song, I'm like, hey, I'm just real with myself. Like, I need some downtime. I'm checked out. This is not towards my purpose of my main goal of like, hey, this is just me taking a break from mentally being tired of constantly being at war with my own thoughts in my own head. It's It's never ending, man. And I think I said it before. That's the most tiring part of the journey. As you know, it's every single day. And in my I don't know if you shared it or I've seen it. Just one more. The power of one more.
Yep.
And I know you're being a coach. He's one of your coaches. So I probably will end up getting that book and reading it because
I have it on order.
Even just that small concept, the amount of power behind it. Hey, I could do one more mile.
Yep.
I could work hard one more day. I don't have to think about 12 days from now. Just focus on the moment.
Even a small, like I can send one more email.
I can send one more phone call.
Yeah.
I just have to.
I do one more bid.
And David Goggins, in his book, I'll compare it to Taking Souls because he's kind of different perspective. But he's like, when I'm running, I just have to outlast that guy. Just one more step, and then I own you.
Yep.
I've already won. It's just that one. And so same thing with the book. I haven't read it, but I'm going to with whatever Ed Milet's teaching. But that concept, I guarantee. I mean, I know it's going to be a great book, but just simplifying it down so you can actually take the little baby step over and over. And I just shared a post this morning in my group. There's no speedometer on how fast you do this. There's no hey, you're doing it better than that person because he's further ahead and you're further behind. It's no, are you actually doing the work? One baby step at a time. Because 1 penny a day doubled over 31 days is more than taking everything all at once. It's the compounding effect of being consistent. You said consistency too. Doing this. I used to do it when I was in a bad relationship. Hey, no, I'm not a piece of shit. I'm a good dad.
Right.
I used to do that, and now I see how powerful that was and how it transcends into even my thinking. And I used to do it when people would say things to me, but now I realize I'm my biggest critic. I criticize myself more than anybody else.
I want to go into something that I just learned not that long ago. And so, I call myself I'm a master manifester, right?
Master manifester.
Not a masturbator, but a master manifester.
That's it.
But I'm really good at manifesting, right? And I'm good with this shit, right? And so there's this book, though, that I got from Andy Versello that's called Law of Attraction by Michael J. Lozier. And this is not like the movie Law of Attraction. Everybody's seen the movie Law of Attraction. This is a different book with a different perspective. Law of Attraction by Michael J. Lozier. And this is the book. I talked to you about this book, John. I think I might have even sent it to you. But this book goes over a key point to this topic that I think really changed my perspective on how I see things, and I think is very important. I want to share it with you guys here. And what he talks about is, yes, our thoughts matter, right? Yes, what we say matters, and that is why they call spelling, because you're casting spells, right? When you write things down.
Right.
But what it truly comes down to, what really, really, really matters is whatever you positively charge in your mind with energy. So we are all just 100% energy. So is the universe. The universe is 100% infinite energy.
Right.
And that energy is what brings manifestations and bring things into your life. Mm-hmm. So the things that I positively charge in my head, i.e. thoughts, are the things that are going to truly come to fruition. So think about this, right? They say words can never be taken back, right? When I say a word, that's not just a thought anymore.
Right.
That's a thought that's been very powerfully positively charged.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out, it manifests into a materialistic, if you will, worldly word.
Yes.
Right? So that is a very a very powerful charged thought. They're not all positive. Words can be negative too. But a very positive, Jesus Christ. Pardon me, a very powerful charged thought.
Yes.
Right? So if I have a thought in my mind and I combat it, I'm now giving my charge, my energy to the thought that I combated it with. I'm no longer giving my energy or my charge to that thought that I just combated. So if I have a thought that pops up into my mind of lack, and I immediately combat that thought in my own head with abundance, a thought of abundance, I'm no longer giving any energy or charge to that lack thought. I'm now giving all of my energy and charge to my abundant thought. Yep. And then furthermore, if I take that and say, write it down or speak it out into the world, then I'm charging that thought even more. So this is how it becomes so important to truly watch what we're putting into our mind, body, and soul, into our ears, eyes, and mouths. Ears, eyes, and minds, rather. I guess it comes out of your mouth, not really into your mouth. For us dads, for most dads.
Right.
But this shit truly does matter, right? And so whatever I positively charge, right? Whatever I charge with energy, whatever thought or word or whatever it may be in my mind I charge is what ends up coming to fruition, right? So think about that. Any thought that you have that you sit there and ponder on and give space in your head, you're giving energy to, and that energy gives that thought space to grow.
Yep.
So if you're sitting there with negative thoughts about yourself, or negative thoughts about a job, or negative thoughts about money, or any lack thoughts in your life that you're sitting there dwelling on and thinking of, even thoughts of the past, like things that you're sitting there dwelling on and thinking of, you are giving energy to those things, and that energy that you're giving to those thoughts allows them to grow, and those things will then transfer into materialistic things into your world, and they will shape your world. I'm trying to explain this in a light that people can understand, you know? And I can't think of a better way to say it, you know? And so it just really fucking matters, guys.
We can do a quick test.
Sure.
Close your eyes.
Keep your finger away from my butt.
That'll be later. Can you feel that?
No.
Can you sense that?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I'd say you're moving your finger or hand back and forth into my face.
Your eyes are closed, right?
Yeah.
You didn't see that with your eyeballs, right?
No.
That's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
You sensed that.
I mean, I could feel a little bit of wind.
You could feel the wind, but still, you could do this test with yourself. I mean, you could, when you close your eyes, your spiritual being, your essence of who you are, is still perceiving everything around you. You're still hearing. You're still smelling.
You're still feeling.
You're still feeling. We don't just see with our eyeballs. The world, and again, our eyeballs are magnificent things, but we perceive things upside down, and then by the time it gets into our brain, it's totally like what we see is not truly what we see with our eyes. When we close our eyes, it's your spirit that you're living with, and when you can become more in tune with that spirit, that's your driving. That's the person in control of your physical body. When you close your eyes, and that being, that sense, that being inside you that senses everything still, that's who's in. You need to become friends with that person. You need to become friends and take charge of that inside of you so you can have these conversations. And when I meditate, I do the drive-in, or like I'm driving and I visualize I'm in the driver's seat and I'm talking to the monkey mind over here. Like, no, I know what you're trying to distract me. You're trying to pull me off of, I'm trying to stay course, but here's a negative thought. Dang it, I looked over. Now I'm not looking at the road ahead of me. So what happens, and we've talked about this before, whenever you keep turning around for anything else in the world or looking, hey, are you
moving forward or are you moving back?
Right. Yeah. Either you're moving forward or you're getting distracted and you're looking to the side, you're looking backward. So all these things, again, a TV show can put one negative thought in your mind, and our subconscious is very powerful. We might not even recognize we heard something, but we agreed with it subconsciously, and now we're living that agreement. We didn't even recognize, like, hey, I watched a TV show and the Kardashians said this, and then you like the Kardashians, so you didn't think anything about it, but now you want this.
Subconsciously, you agree with it without even realizing it, and then now these thoughts start coming up.
Yes,
because subconsciously, then it turns into conscious thoughts. So then these thoughts keep creeping up, and then you're sitting there asking yourself,
I don't have no control of my thoughts.
Where the fuck are these thoughts coming from?
But yet,
okay, they're coming from what you input into your mind.
Correct.
100%.
Correct.
So all I'm saying is just watch it, guys. If you truly want to bring. Like, I want to bring nothing but fucking abundance into my life. Nothing but abundance. So I'm truly, I'm watching what I listen to. I'm watching what I watch. I'm watching who I talk to. I'm watching who I surround myself with. I'm even watching, like, what podcasts I listen to now. Like, is that podcast just entertaining, or is it truly helping me become a better person, right? And I'm, like, in tune with all of this. Once I'm able to watch all these things that I'm putting in, then you can really watch your own thoughts in your own mind.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then you can really shape your own thoughts in your own mind, which in turn shapes your reality. So, like, it goes hand in hand, guys. So this has been a good one. I think I'll leave it at that. I actually had another point I wanted to talk about too, but I think this is nailed. I think we nailed this one on the head. We'll call this one inner dialogue. Inner dialogue.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, inner dialogue.
So thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been the Dads Who Live podcast. Again, please pay the fee. We don't ask for anything monetary. We don't ask for any money. We don't ask for a subscription. We get thousands of downloads on this motherfucker. All we're asking is you tell a friend, they tell a friend, they tell a friend. Yeah, smash the like, smash the share button. We're on IG as Dad Swift Apparel. We're on Facebook as Dad Swift Apparel. We have a Facebook group called Dad Swift Official. It's a group of 55,000 like-minded dads trying to be the best selves to stay fit. If that's something that interests you, check that group out on Facebook, Dad Swift Official. And then we have badass. I got a little tongue tied there. We have badass hats, shirts, tanks, hoodies, all kinds of dope apparel on www.dadswholifapparel.com, dadswholifapparel.com. We will be having a Father's Day sale coming up too. We'll probably launch that next week, being that Father's Day is next Sunday. We'll probably launch that on like Monday. But we have this new shirt, Number One Dad, which is for all the dads out there for Father's Day. Wives, if you listen to this, get that for your husbands. They'll fucking love it. I love this shirt. I wear this shirt proud. I love being around my son wearing this shirt.
Oh yeah.
Because that's who I am and that's what I stand for. And again, I'm putting shit that I believe in and who I am as a person. Materialistically, I'm writing it down. I'm wearing it. I'm making this a part of me, which then becomes a part of my reality, right? Like, no one's going to be wearing a Number One Dad shirt and being a piece of shit father, because once you wear a Number One Dad shirt, then you're even more cognizant of like, oh fuck,
right?
Am I truly a good dad? Am I being a good dad? Am I being the best dad that I can be? You're holding yourself more accountable just by wearing this fucking shirt, right? And if you're a piece of shit dad, don't wear this shirt.
Fact.
Don't buy our shit. Don't listen to our. You can listen to the podcast if it helps you, but don't rep our shit, right? We're people that want to be better, want to grow, want to be the best versions of ourselves daily in every single thing that we do in every area of our life. So smash that like, guys. Help us out. Take care. Watch those fucking thoughts and make it a good day.
They told me that like when I get cocky, ain't it funny how they think they can stop me? Try to be mean, but I'm so sorry you not.